Hello, you're watching Jagran English. My name is Aditi Mishra. The voting for the Karnataka Assembly elections are officially over now at 6 o'clock. And if we talk about Karnataka Assembly elections, we're still waiting for the exit polls. However, the opinion polls are out, which says that Congress is getting an upper hand over the Bharatiya Janata Party. We are joined by Professor Geeta Bhatt, who's a political analyst. Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, if we talk about Karnataka Assembly elections, we see in the opinion polls, Congress is getting an upper hand. What do you think about it? Is it going to will we see the same in on 13th as well when the final results are going to come out?
Well, Aditi, first of all, thanks for inviting me on your platform. And you see, if you look at the last 38 years, it goes that the people of Karnataka have always looked for an alternative in the next assembly elections, or we can say the same party is not repeated. But nevertheless, the same was also talked about Uttar Pradesh also, that there is a jinx attached like this. But it was not the way it went. We saw it that Yogi Adityanath was once again, he became the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh. So you see there, it is very difficult to actually say how in the 21st century, where the aspirations of the people of this country and for a state like Karnataka, which is one of the most prosperous states in the country, and there people are looking forward to a lot of development, and especially in terms of infrastructure, because we know how Bengaluru has developed itself like a tech city, a tech hub, and a large number of multinationals from across the world have offices over there. And also across Karnataka in other cities also. So it is, we'll have to wait till I think 13th to actually see whether this is going to happen or not, because largely it is a triangular contest which has been seen in the last couple of assembly elections. So last time also, if we see that BJP had got the maximum number of seats, but since there was a coalition between Congress and JDS, so they were able to initially form the government, and then of course things changed and BJP could, it came to power. So how things will turn out, it is, yes, the contest between the two is something which will be very interestingly watched across the country. And both the parties are definitely going to want that they are the ones who should be coming out as winners. So let's see what happens on 13th.
Right. So when we talk about elections this year, 40% Sarkar, this term has been used massively by the opposition, be it Priyanka Gandhi, be it Rahul Gandhi. How much do you think is this going to stick with the BJP and Basavaraj Bommai when it comes to elections?
Well, you see, corruption is something which has been constantly, these charges have been there even when the Congress was there in power. And we have seen that the BJP has been talking about that how Congress has for a very long time, how they have been, leveling corruption charges on them. How much is it a voting issue is something that largely people who have political observers who went to Karnataka, and if you look at their reports, a large number of them say that yes, definitely corruption is an issue which in any society which is very sensitive and which is awakened society, which wants to see that that in the public life our leadership should be of a certain caliber, and our leadership should be clean and honest. No, they would raise the issue of corruption. But in terms of whether as a election issue it has been able to reap certain interest in the voters is something that not many political observers have observed it. So how much is it going to actually impact this kind of a campaign by the opposition parties, how much it is going to actually impact the elections is something only when the result comes that we will see. But largely, yes, people do talk about corruption, and this should be, in any educated society, it should be an issue. But these are charges which have been leveled, and how much the people of Karnataka are considering it to be an issue on which they are going to vote, that let's see.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now if we talk about the manifesto of both the parties, BJP in its manifesto, they have said that they will increase the seats for the Lingayats and the Vokalika
Right.
communities. Also, they've also increased the number of seats for the Lingayat and Vokalika communities when it comes to giving seats for contesting elections. So BJP is clearly targeting these both communities. They want them to vote for BJP. So is it going to have an impact? Because are these communities going to vote for BJP? Is a big question.
See, if we try to look at the two communities, then Lingayats have traditionally, because in BJP the leadership has been from that community, probably that is the reason. And we have seen that largely Lingayats have been, pro BJP voters. And Vokaligas, because in JDS also we see that kind of leadership, and here in Congress we see that there is Mr. D. Shiv Kumar is there from the same community. But if you look it in terms of Congress, which is trying to claim time and again that within Lingayats, this time we are going to get certain number of substantial votes. If you look at the history of Congress party, in the last 50 years, there never has been a CM from that community from the Congress,
Right.
except one, which was, I think, Mr. Virendra Patil. And Mr. Virendra Patil had a very unceremonious departure from the CM's post when the Congress was in power. And it is very unfortunate but true that it was during Mr. Rajiv Gandhi's time. And Mr. Rajiv Gandhi had actually gone to meet Mr. Patil, who at that time was not well. And when he came back on the airport, he told the reporters that, that Karnataka is going to see a new CM. So, of course, after that, in the next elections, there was a debacle of Congress party because it went very badly with the community. But this is what has been the experience of the community with the Congress party in the past. So, how much they have been able to, fill this kind of the treatment which they had with the leadership, Lingayat leadership, which was in Congress earlier. How much people have kind of, overcome that. Let's see what claims they are making, but this has been the past. And Vokaligas, I think they themselves are, but if you look at the last assembly elections voting pattern, and those places where Vokaligas were more dominant, residing in such localities which were part of these constituencies, largest number of seats, not vote percentage, but the seats which were won were by BJP in the last assembly elections,
right?
Yeah.
Also, if we talk about the manifesto of the Congress Party has made a claim that has made a promise, in fact, that if they come to power, they will ban Bajrang Dal in the state. There was a lot of controversy over this promise made by Congress. Prime Minister Modi went to the state where he was campaigning, and he raised the slogans of Jai Bajrang Bali. So how much of an impact is this Bajrang Bali thing going to have on this elections and this results that are coming up on 13th?
Well, yes, Congress party decided to, actually compare Bajrang Dal with PFI. And on saying that if they come to power, they are going to ban them, just like PFI has been banned. Now, PFI is basically, it is a, is a organization which has been connected to various kind of anti-national activities and terror-based activities. Now, I personally think that this is going to, in a way, it is going to backfire on the Congress, because you see, Bajrang Dal per se is an organization which since 1993 they actually were formally organized as an organization across the country. Before that, they were largely associated with the Ram Mandir movement. That is that they as a unit, they were introduced, who took up this issue of Ram Mandir. But later on, they have been associated with a large number of, seva works also, whether it is when floods happened in certain states or where there was any kind of a calamity happening. They have been out there. They, in fact, the largest blood donation camp in 2014 or 15 in the country was organized by Bajrang Dal. So they have been associated, and in fact they have been largely associating themselves with the eternal Hindu values, whatever is related to eternal Hindu values. She says कहते हैं हम शाश्वत हिंदू जो मूल्य हैं, they have been associated themselves. So this I personally feel is something which is not going to help the Congress party in any way. And I think the Prime Minister very rightfully raised this issue, because the Bajrang Dal itself takes its energy or takes as its ish devta Lord Hanuman. And Karnataka it is said that Karnataka is the birthplace of Lord Hanuman. So there is a lot of attachment of people of Karnataka with Lord Hanuman. So in a way, because you see there is a lot in election which happens with the perception, how people perceive you. So this I think is not going to help politically Congress party by raising the issue of Bajrang Dal and trying to associate them with a terror based organization. Is something which is not, I personally feel, going to reap any political benefits.
So is it also religious polarization that the BJP is alleging that Congress party is doing here by bringing this into its manifesto?
You see, they have also raised, in fact, one of their senior political leaders has said that if they come to power, they will, instead of 4% reservation, they are going to increase it to 6%.
6%, right.
And if you look constitutionally, in our constitution, I don't think we can find the word minority per se anywhere in our constitution. So based on our constitution, we cannot give a reservation which is based on a religion. And that is something which has been done by the earlier Congress government. So they have been doing this appeasement politics for a very, very long time. And this time, since the BJP government at present, they had scrapped that and had distributed that among the 2 other communities, which are large communities. And also they have also increased the share of reservation also in SC/ST communities also. So this itself is being perceived as an appeasement by the Congress party, and which they have a long association with these type of appeasements. So this their leader already is saying, projecting that we are going to increase the reservation to Muslims if we come in power, is definitely going to be perceived as an appeasement by them of the of the Muslim
and
community.
Also when we talk about the rural player here, local player JDS, they had 29 seats last time. Are they going to perform better this time? Because do we see JDS being much better this time in these elections?
Well, you see, JDS earlier it's more like it's a family enterprise. So it is one family which is actually controlling the whole party, and their internal disputes, family disputes, are very much out in open, and this has been observed in this Karnataka election also, because their internal fights, they are in a way have been out in public, because of which their presence in the whole dynamics of this election was not felt the way it has been felt in the earlier elections. If I'm not wrong, in 2008 they had 40 seats.
Right.
So their number of seats also over the years has been decreasing, and you see, we are in a democracy. It is very important that a political party should be able to project itself in front of the people as someone who is going to do some kind of welfare work or social work. But when they are being projected as people who are themselves having internal fights, so how people are going to take them especially in old Mysuru region, where they are a dominant force. And of course, Mr. Deve Gowda has been a former Prime Minister of this country. But since now age is not on his side, and with this their family bickering coming out in open, I think they should have done some damage control before the elections had started.
So when we talk about elections in 2023 assembly elections, is this election results going to pave a way for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections as well?
You see, if I remember in 2018, when the Congress and JDS had come together, although BJP had the largest number of, but of course it had not crossed the halfway mark, so they were not in a position, but they came as a coalition and they had formed the government there. There was a huge rally. There were a large number of I think almost all the opposition leaders were there in Bengaluru, and there was a huge rally. They were holding their hands, and it was a kind of a call that now in 2019 things are going to change. But eventually what happened in 2019, we saw that it was a very good sweep by the BJP, and Prime Minister Modi emerged as a much stronger leader across the country. So it is very difficult to say that 2000, just like at that time, this election also, how it is going to, but yes, because Congress is basically as a party, Congress across the country is facing they are facing a crisis, a political crisis, a leadership crisis also. So for them, Congress is in the Karnataka election is something which they would be desperate to win, because that can help them project themselves in the 2024 elections. But per se, how much it is going to actually make an impact on 2024, that is something, I think, because national level issues are largely people consider the national issues or the politics of a national level in a different way than in a state, because the issues are different. In state elections, the local issues also have some importance. And national, when the Lok Sabha elections will take place, at that time, people are voting to see someone as their prime minister, who is going to be their prime minister. So there, the perception of people while they are deciding whom to vote is largely different than from state elections.
Thank you so much, Geeta ji. So obviously we'll have to wait for 13th to see as to who is going to form government in the state of Karnataka. That was Geeta Bhatt with us. Thank you so much for watching Jagran English.
Thank you.